Hello, Kadri from Estonia. How are you tonight?
Thank you.
Good. Kadri, tell me what had you reach out for a little bit of coaching?
I reached out because it's been on my mind that since the end of my last previous relationship, it's been a year and few months, 15 months or so,
Mm-hmm.
I have experienced that I cannot forgive. I cannot find any empathy for the person, for my ex-boyfriend then. And I have never experienced this before. When few times my significant relationships have ended, I have always been full of love for them, forgiving, saying that, it happened because of their own pain and it was just supposed to be this way. But
Okay.
this time around, it is different. And I cannot even look at the situation and I cannot forgive. I have no empathy for him.
Yeah,
None
because
of that.
he really hurt you.
Yes.
Yeah. By breaking up with you, or is there something else he actually did besides breaking up with you?
Breaking up while on a business trip and yeah.
So maybe you not having any empathy and understanding and forgiveness this time around is a good thing. Maybe that's a sign of health.
Yeah, perhaps because now I'm actually maybe feeling anger. However, I don't want to admit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how long ago did this happen?
It ended June last year, so about 14 months, 15 months.
Yeah. So this you're still, my guess is still upset about this, and you're wondering. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're wondering if I'm guessing you want to move on with your life, and you don't want to keep feeling this stuff.
Yes, because I feel something is unfinished. Because I can't look at it. I can't. I feel like I need to process something.
Yeah. Yeah. And have you done therapy, counseling, coaching with anyone about this breakup?
I went for couples counseling alone, like few months before the relationship ended, and then we also started together a few sessions with a couples counseling.
Mm-hmm.
But that's about it. Just on my own, I have.
Okay. So you're doing your own approach to get over this breakup.
Yes.
And it sounds like it's not exactly working. Is that fair?
I feel a little stuck. I don't know what to look at.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Okay. Well, I will have some, let's get into it a little bit, and then I'll have some recommendations when we stop of things you could do potentially in terms of taking a class or hiring a coach or a counselor or something. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. He gave no reason, I'm assuming, that it ended, or did he give a reason? Did he ghost and just disappear and stop returning texts and calls?
He was yet again about to extend his business trip.
Mm-hmm.
Used to do that a lot. Started traveling while we were together for work, and he extended it constantly because he traveled to the country where he was from. So he was able to stay away for a longer periods of time and said that it's for work. So he was clearly the avoidant one and I'm the anxious one. And,
right.
So he said he can't go on anymore, as in extending and not be able to come back, and said that we're having problems. And yeah.
So he can't go on, meaning he can't go on with you, but I need to keep extending this business trip. So I'm going to end the relationship with you.
Yes, that I'm constantly hurting you by having to extend, and I'm not ready to come back, and I'm not ready and over what happened and all the arguments and misunderstandings. And
yeah. Wow. And how long were you two together?
2 years.
2 years. Okay, that's substantial. And were there any red flags or signs that he was pulling away more and more toward the end of the relationship, or did you feel a little bit surprised by it?
I thought we were going to fix it, but he started, well, the last time that he stayed away on a business trip, it was 4 months. And then, he basically didn't communicate. He was just saying that, everything is broken and I have damaged it and I shouldn't react when he wants to.
That you've damaged it or he's damaged it?
Well, me, because I'm reacting to when he wants to stay away or when he wants to try, and I shouldn't react to it, and I should accept, and I should live my own.
Right. Okay. I'm giving you a lot of advice on how you should be handling the relationship when he himself is not exactly a competent relationship person, right? That's always kind of ironic.
Right. And he was the one who would say that we shouldn't have arguments in relationship ever.
Yeah. Good luck with that. So we can rest assured he's definitely going to find a relationship where he's going to have a lot of arguments in the future. Guaranteed. So you said there was a 4-month time period when he went away on a business trip. Was that the last one, or that was a time before, or another time where you guys didn't communicate hardly at all?
It was the one before he went again to break up. So, but he came home only for 1 week, and then he was pretty much begging me, is it okay if I go again, because we cannot fix it when we're face to face. He was also actually
this guy's got a lot of terrible relationship advice for everybody here.
Yeah.
We can't fix it when we're in person. Like, that's the place to fix it, right?
Exactly. And he got depression also while he was away. And as soon as he started taking medicine, he complicated.
Yeah. So here's what's interesting is let me ask a couple more questions. The 4 months of him being away, and then he was home for a week, and then he went away again, and then you broke up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the 4 months, the second to last trip, that trip for 4 months, how much were you two in communication around FaceTime, Zoom calls, texting, email?
He didn't want me to see him, so he pretty much always avoided the camera. Sometimes he would call or answer my calls, but he actually didn't answer my calls, didn't answer messages mostly.
Yeah.
It was mad.
So you talked to him how much then? Like once, 3 times, 10 times?
No, more than, but sometimes there were like 3-4 weeks in between that he didn't answer my messages.
So could we assume that's about 3-4 weeks? That's about once a month.
Yeah, because I would send message, but he wouldn't reply.
So you actually communicated by phone or by text, or? Mostly
text. Sometimes he would call, but it was bad experience.
All right. So some texts, some calls, and it sounds to me like you only had a few phone calls.
Yes.
Like less than 5?
Yes.
Okay. Definitely. And then maybe text threads back and forth. You sent a lot of text to him, but he didn't respond. How many times did he respond? Maybe 5, 100? What would just if you had to guess?
Well, I think it maybe 50 times, but then, he would just say a word or something, but few times we actually had a conversation, but it went bad because no communication skills. And
yeah. Do you both share the same native language, or were you speaking in English together, or?
Yeah, it's not the same native language, no.
So you were speaking English, or what would you speak in?
English, yeah.
English, okay. All right. Here's what's interesting about you that I'm learning about you is that you put up with this. You know what I mean by that?
Yes, because at first I was trying to change myself because I thought I'm a bad girlfriend. I'm failing him. I should accept that he goes away for work all the time without announcing more than a few days before. And
you agreed with his kind of bullshit assessment of you that you need help and you're too much or you're too anxious or whatever, all his judgments of you. The insecure part of you agreed with him, right?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. And you see that about yourself. Why do you think that is about yourself, that you treat yourself that way?
I think from childhood with the alcoholic father and the mother who was then emotionally abused, parents always at work, me always waiting for them to come home, not understanding why I'm taken to grandparents, missing the parents, all this.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So you're self-aware enough to understand it probably comes from your childhood.
Yeah.
A little girl in that environment is obviously probably doesn't feel great about herself and is wondering when the big people are going to get their act together and love me and like be there for me. And you keep hoping, right? As a little kid, kids have no choice but to keep kind of hoping it's going to get better the next day or the next year. Or,
Yeah, I just always thought, why are they leaving me? Why am I here at grandparents? Where are they? And why are they not coming for me? I remember that.
Yeah. So you have not only an anxious sort of attachment style as you described, but you also have a lived experience of being with a family that you got the message that you weren't wanted or you weren't a priority.
Yeah. Not that they meant it, but,
Sure, but their value. But
Yeah.
your dad clearly valued alcohol more than he valued you, right?
Yeah.
Even though he loved you.
Yeah.
So, what do you feel right now as we talk about this? Like right now, what are you feeling?
Anxiety.
hmm Where do you feel that?
Here.
In your chest. So, can we just hang out with the feeling of anxiety just for a minute in your chest and just breathe into that and just, I'm just kind of picturing that little girl too in you that feels a little neglected and dismissed. And what do you notice as you stay with the anxiety? What do you notice now?
Sort of like sadness and acceptance.
hmm Okay. About which? The breakup or about your family?
The family.
hmm Yeah. Have you done a lot of work around your family of origin, your childhood, or not?
I try always to do the inner child.
hmm
When I get anxious about, like, when you like somebody, for example, like you meet somebody, you like them, and I just experienced it recently that it all came out again. I got so anxious about, not getting the text message and all this. And then
Yeah.
I actually was able to help myself. But I'm thinking, is the inner child help the only thing that I could do to help myself?
Right. Do you have any of your friends or anyone in your life that knows this about you, that you just knows these
Yes.
very intimate details about your life?
Yes. All my best friends.
Okay,
Yes.
so you can lean on them and cry on their shoulder and
Yes.
oh, that's great. Wow, you're really fortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am.
And would you ever allow those friends that are close to treat you the way your boyfriend did?
I don't let anybody to do this or treat me like this. But as soon as it's this significant relationship, then it has happened.
hmm
And I'm thinking never again, of course. But
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. You're probably going to have to become a different person to have it never happen again. What do you think needs to change about you?
I think I need to find the way to help myself, trust myself that I can handle, and I can help myself when when I feel anxious again and scared.
Well, that's not enough. Like you want a partner to be able to help and handle your anxiety, right? That doesn't make you wrong for your anxiousness.
Yeah.
So you've got to choose someone who treats your fears and anxiety with respect and care. They might get triggered by your anxiety, but they still treat you with respect and care.
Yeah. Somebody who stays, when this
That's right.
happens.
Yeah, stays and also let's talk about it. Okay, I see you're anxious. You're right. I am pulling away again. I shut down again. I know that hurts your feelings. I'm here now. Let's talk about it. That kind of thing, right?
Yeah, somebody who is aware of that something like this can be
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah. If your spouse or partner has threatened to leave you, or you've already been broken up with, or you're thinking about breaking up with your significant other, or maybe even contemplating divorce, I want you to do a few things first. Go to relationshipschool.com/rescue. All right. That way you can rescue this thing if it's salvageable. All right. I wrote a very elaborate PDF ebook and I recorded some videos for you to save your relationship. And I think it's a really good thing to, at the very least, go through this course. Now, if you just got broken up with it, the relationship just ended, you'll also want to do this if you want to salvage or save the relationship. relationshipschool.com/rescue. So you need to choose differently, but also sometimes we just choose unconsciously, usually, our partners, even though we think it's conscious. We're choosing like a healing partner instead of like I don't know, someone that it's gonna feel all good with. We're gonna choose someone that triggers us into our deepest wounds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you want someone who will dance with you in that conversation. And this guy clearly wasn't. And you tolerated it, you put up with his bullshit, and you kept hoping and praying or whatever the hell you did to keep him around. Like that's clearly a vulnerability of yours, right?
Yes.
So you're going to have to take a stand that you deserve more and better.
Yeah.
And look at whatever's in the way of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just interesting how it happens only only with certain types of relationships.
Yeah. Usually
not,
you're right. Usually it's the intimate relationship, the life partner, not our friends. They don't trigger us. They don't turn on the attachment system in the same way that a partner does.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think one of the benefits is that he treated you the way he did at the end and just disappeared? What do you think was one of the benefits of that he did that?
benefits for me that
Mm-hmm.
understand myself better and get myself better for the future.
Are you saying because he broke up with you in the way that he did, you're kind of forced to understand yourself better and prepare
Yeah.
yourself for the next relationship better?
Yeah. And I understand what I would not want to accept again. I don't ever imagine to accept something like this again.
Yeah, that's cool. And let's say that you got your wish and he didn't do what he did and he showed up for you and he was an awesome partner and he FaceTimed you and he listened to your feelings and what do you think the big drawback to that would be if he did that?
If the relationship would have been like that,
Yeah, it would have been great and he was really solid partner.
then I wouldn't have had all this attachment trauma activated.
Right. And keep going.
And then I wouldn't have to work on it
Correct. You're getting it.
until I would have to work on it because
Well, we don't know if you are suddenly miraculously, if we waved our magic wand and you found yourself in a secure, loving partnership, how would you know how the hell you created it? How would you know how you got there if we just waved our wand?
then how would I know how I got into?
If you just didn't have to change at all and he was an amazing partner, what would be the big drawback here? You see, we're starting to get to it. You wouldn't have to understand your attachment trauma. What else?
I wouldn't have to work on it. I wouldn't have problems in the future with next people.
Let's stay with the first part. I wouldn't have to work on it. And let me do a sidebar conversation. What are you really good at in your life? What is something
Loving,
you do? Loving people?
yes,
Okay,
empathy.
pick something else. So let's say that might be true. Pick something like accounting or
Mm,
dance or flowers or something. What's a skill of yours that your friends are like, wow, you're really good at that?
cooking, baking.
Cooking, excellent. Now, did you have to work at that, or did you just wave your wand and you knew how to cook everything from the start?
No, had to work on it a little, practice.
Uh-huh. And how do you think you built confidence over time by practicing and working at it?
Yes.
Okay. So if we come back to your relationship and you just magically had a great relationship with him
Hmm.
and you didn't have to do any work, what would you miss out on in your own development?
Well, I wouldn't have been then able to heal my childhood traumas, my attachment trauma. I wouldn't have learned about what I want and need from a partner.
Right, because it was just given to you, right?
Yeah.
What's the drawback of that? Being given something without having to earn it over time and learning about it. It's a big drawback there.
Then we don't value it as much.
Probably. What about valuing yourself? What about your confidence?
Yeah. Then I wouldn't have been able to set boundaries and accept what I know that I deserve.
Right, because it was just given to you. So you wouldn't know actually what you deserve. You wouldn't have had to earn setting boundaries and learn how to do that, right?
Yeah. And I need that.
And you need that, right? And what about your confidence as a woman, as an adult woman here? Just like the cooking thing, if it was just all given to you, how would your self-confidence be? Because you just magically waved a wand and didn't have to work for anything.
I wouldn't then I wouldn't I would take it for granted. I would
Probably. Let me ask it a different way. Let's say one day you have a daughter and she wants what you have, and you're her teacher, right? And um, how would you teach her how to get what you want?
I would tell her to value
Well,
and respect
but
self.
hold on. Would you know how if you just got there magically?
No, because then I wouldn't know how. But if I have worked on getting, I would be able to teach the tricks and how.
Exactly. So you get my point?
Yes,
What's my point?
that if if I didn't lose the relationship and I didn't have bad experience, then I wouldn't be able to value myself and wouldn't know how to respect myself
Because
because I would never have to do the work if everything was fine.
if it just was fine and it was just given to you,
Then I would have never been able to discover this in me and work on it. And
right? And isn't self-confidence a discovery from the inside?
yes,
Yeah. So do you want to take that away from yourself?
no,
Okay. So would if we could rewind the tapes, would you want magically to have this guy just meet your every need and have a great secure partnership?
I wouldn't change anything now. I value what I got out of it. I
Nice.
appreciate that.
And how about you are valuing what you're learning right now in this moment?
Am I valuing what I'm learning?
Yeah, are you valuing this learning right now that you're getting?
Yes.
Are you sure you wouldn't want anyone to take that away from you?
No,
Right,
no.
because what does it give you?
It gives me confidence. It gives me ideas how to it helps me to
Yeah. Understand what?
understand why it was good that the relationship ended.
Yeah. Cool. Thank God that relationship ended. So
Yeah.
you could make a journey of self-discovery, of learning how to value yourself, of learning how to do relationships better, how
Yeah.
to set boundaries, how to not be tolerated and treated like this shit anymore, right?
Yeah.
And you haven't learned all the lessons you need to learn yet, but you're
No.
learning. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like the more you learn, the more you understand that, oh my goodness, there's so much more.
Tell me about it. That's me every day. Yes. Just when I think I know a lot, I'm like, I get shown that I'm not. I have so much more to learn. Yeah. Well, cool. This might be a good stopping point. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Kadri, for your courage to face your breakup and to see how it's possibly a good thing and it's time to keep going on your journey, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Thanks again.
Thank you so much.
All right, as I said in the beginning, your action step is to ask yourself, as a practitioner, coach, therapist, what would I do differently? What did I like that Jayson did? And how, and can I go try this? So go try it with a client, right? If you're a person going through a breakup or have had a breakup in your past that you're still not quite over, perhaps you can do this exercise that I call the 180 that I learned from Dr. DeMartini, where you're just trying to see how the breakup is helping you grow as a person and how, if it just carried on in this beautiful relationship, what would be the drawbacks to that fantasy? Okay, this is a simple exercise we teach in our relationship mastery course. It's extremely confronting, though, depending on what you apply it to. And we also teach our coaches how to start experimenting with this level of challenging a client like this. Okay, enjoy, and we will talk soon. As you know, I've dedicated my life to helping people with their relationships, right? I want to solve this problem so that all of you can work through your differences and have fulfilling, amazing, badass partnerships and relationships, family, coworkers, friends, whoever. And I have trained a ton of relationship coaches, almost 100 certified relationship coaches, to help you specifically work through your relationship challenges. So I want to invite you to a special deal we're offering to the podcast listener, where you can get 50% off your first month of coaching with one of our amazing relationship coaches. Okay, if you're tired of therapy, it feels like that's going around in a circle, or you want to actually set goals and accomplish your relationship goals, hire a relationship coach. Okay, go to relationshipschool.com/get coaching now, and then use the coupon code FIRST50 to get the 50% deal off your first month of relationship coaching. Super psyched to have our amazing coaches serve you and help you get to the next level. Hey, thanks so much for listening. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Share one of these videos with a friend. We want to help the planet get their act together around relationships, and you are one of them, so thank you.